Hi, y'all. Jessi Fearon here from jessifearon.com. We're going to be talking about real life on a budget. More specifically, we're going to be addressing a concern from one of my social media followers. What happened was I posted on social media a blog post that I wrote a long time ago all about saving money. Basically, why you should save money and kind of identifying, the different types of savings accounts that we have in our household. And this commenter made a comment saying, I would have appreciated this post more if you told me, that I needed to be couponing or that I should be meal planning, if you had included more practical tips on saving money. And I don't necessarily disagree with this particular commenter because the post probably would have been more useful had I included a few more practical tips on saving money. However, though, it was interesting to me that, she already knew all this stuff. I mean, she went through a litany of different things that you could do to save money that she was expecting to find within my blog post. So what's the point of me writing a blog post about things you already know? And that's the point, though, is that most of us know how to save money. That's the truth. Most of us actually know how to do it. We've Googled, we've researched, we've read books, we've done all of these things, and so we know how to actually save money. We know to coupon, we know to meal plan. We know that we need to be, eating out less than we do eating at home. We know these different things. We know paying off debt is important. We know saving money in emergency funds is important. We know budgeting is super important. We know all of these things, okay? But just like we know that we need to replace the filter on our HVAC system in our house, just like we know we need to do that, we tend to put that off and put that off and put that off, keep forgetting. And then eventually when we go to change the filter in our HVAC system, it's pretty gross, right? It's like disgustingly nasty, right? And we're like, oh my goodness, the sweet Lord in heaven, why have I been letting my babies breathe this nasty air with this nasty filter, right? That happens with our money. We know we need to do these things. We know they're important. And a lot of times we know how to do them, but we don't do them. And that's because we are missing a crucial part of the equation here. You must absolutely know how to do the how part. Like you have to know how to you have to know the practical stuff. You have to know how to do it. But you also, got to know why it is that you want to do it. Why do you want to manage your money? Why do you want to save money? Why do you want to pay off debt? When you know why it is you want to do something, it becomes easier to convince yourself to do those things. But also we have to remember that knowledge is only a portion of the equation. One of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins says, execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. And that is so true because we can have all the knowledge in the world, but if we don't actually use that knowledge, what good is it, right? So I want to encourage you that if you are, spending a lot of time Googling and researching and reading up on managing your money well, that's great and that's wonderful. I don't ever want you to stop learning, but I definitely want you to start doing. So if you haven't started a budget, or if you haven't started building an emergency fund, or if you haven't started paying off debt, ask yourself why that is and make a point to get started right now, not tomorrow, not later on today, not next week, not next month, right now. Make a point to get started now. Because action is what's going to make things happen. Without action, nothing is going to happen. And so that's why I want to encourage you. Like I said, never stop learning, but make sure that you start doing as well. And I know that it can be really, really hard when you're sitting there asking yourself these questions of, why am I not saving money? Why am I not paying off debt? Why am I not budgeting? Why am I not doing these things? I know it can be really hard because sometimes you start to feel defeated, like, man, I'm so stupid. I'm not as smart as this person. I don't know why I can't get this done. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, case point, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay? I want you to say, there's nothing wrong with me. I want you to say that to yourself because there's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing something wrong, but you're not ever going to see the success that you want unless if you do something about it. So you're going to have to actually make that budget, and not just make that budget, but stick to it. Because a lot of times we'll go online and we'll, read all these how-to budget things. We'll print off our printables. We'll fill out the budget. We'll fill it all out. It's all pretty and everything. But then we don't do anything with it. We have all of the knowledge there. We know what our budget should be, but then we don't take the action in order to stick to our budget. And so then we're completely out of whack again. And then we feel like colossal failures. We feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I did wrong. So then what do? We go online and we search for somebody else's advice on how to do the same thing that we already know how to do. And that's exactly what happened with this commenter. She wanted to hear the same advice that she already knew how to do. She already knew how to do this stuff. She already knew this advice. She knew she should be doing it, but she wasn't. But she thought that if she heard it from somebody else, that somehow it would make her do it. But the thing is that I can't make you do nothing, and neither can anybody else. Nobody else can make you do anything. So once you've got the knowledge, it's up to you to do something with it. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. It does. If you want to make things happen, you have to make those things happen. You have to. If you want to save money and build up an emergency fund, well, you are going to have to not only sit down and budget and stick to that budget, but you're going to have to take that money that you're setting aside and put it into a savings account, into an emergency fund. And you're going to have to agree to not touch that money unless if it's truly an emergency. None of these things are easy. If this was so easy, then everybody would be doing it. But not a lot of people are. So I encourage you, don't just go searching for more information and more information. Use the knowledge that you have and start putting it into action. Make a plan and go for it and stick to it. I promise you, you will see an amazing result. In just a few weeks, a few months, you will be managing your money well. It's not going to be easy, but you're going to be taking control over your money. So I encourage you, take the action today in order to achieve the financial goals that you have in place. So if you haven't already started making a budget and sticking to it, that's your first step. Go there. If you don't have an emergency fund of at least $1,000 built up, that's your second step. That's your next step. That's the one that you got to do next, is build up that emergency fund of at least $1,000, maybe $2,000, but pick your starting point and go up from there. If you're wanting to pay off debt and you haven't even gotten started, make your plan and make it happen today. Don't put it off.